Okay, today we are going to make another one of our yeast rising breads in a bread machine. There are several brands on the market. We like the Zorgerushi for a number of reasons. It's more narrow, it fits on a countertop a little more easily. The others are more wide. It also has handles for the pan. Bring it forward, it pops out. And unlike a lot of bread machine pans that are shaped more like a square box, this is a horizontal shape that's more in keeping with a traditional loaf pan shape. So what we're going to do, I always take the pan out of the machine to fill it with the wet ingredients and the flour. If you try to do it in the machine and you spill something, you've really created a challenge getting that clean. So I take it outside of the pan to fill it with the ingredients we're going to need to make the bread. Okay, so now we're going to fill our bread machine pan, and what I did do is put some warm water in it for a couple seconds and dump it out because you want a nice warm environment for all your ingredients. And I've had the eggs sitting out for a while to try to get those at room temperature. So you want to use 3 large eggs, and we always do a volume measurement on the eggs because you want them to be between 2/3 and 3/4 cup. Okay, so let's see where our eggs are at. Perfect, they're just right at 3/4 cup. Eggs are a binder, a leavener, and they add moisture, so they're really important for the bread. We do have egg replacement recipes on our website that work really well, but if you can use eggs, it's really ideal. So to these eggs, I'm going to add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of honey. You could also use maple or whatever sweetener you prefer. I like honey or maple. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just pour this into the bottom of the pan. I have measured out my water for we're making the corn and dairy free mix. And now I'm going to measure out the oil. Today I'm using avocado oil. So we have all the wet ingredients here in the pan, so now all we need to do is add the flour and the yeast. The first thing you want to add is the flour, so just kind of pound down the flour there at the bottom so there's not any at the top where you cut it. You don't want to lose any. And just evenly sprinkle this over the wet. And you want to cut the yeast over the flour because you don't want to lose any of those yeast particles. So now we're ready to take the pan and put it inside the bread machine. So we know the pan's locked in place because I can't just lift it out. Put the lid down and you move over here to the right to the programming area of the bread machine, and you can set both the crust control and the course. I have the crust control set at medium. I like medium. If you like it dark, you can change it. Light, you can change it. And to select the course, you just press the button and you will see the arrows move around the screen. And once it's pointing to gluten-free, you just hit start. And it will preheat for about 20 minutes, and then it will begin kneading, and you'll hear the paddles starting to move around. After about 5-10 minutes into the kneading cycle, you just lift the lid. It won't interrupt the cycle, and you scrape any flour that's sticking to the side of the pan in with the wet. That way, when the bread's completely done, there's no dry flour on the side of the bread. It's all been blended in. And then put the lid back down. The course will continue, and you'll have bread within about 3 hours. All right, our bread machine has completed the cycle. The bread looks beautiful. It's really important you get it out of the bread machine as soon as it finishes, because if the bread sits in here, condensation builds up and it will cause the sides to collapse, and possibly, if it sits too long, for the bread to completely cave in. Come out, so you just slide it, a couple shakes, and it comes right out. Remember, this pan's really hot, so make sure you set it on a surface that will be accepting of that. And you just let this, oh, it smells good. You just let this cool for an hour. It's really critical that you don't try to cut into this while it's this hot. It will cause it to collapse. If you wait an hour, it'll still be nice and warm.